Hello, and today what we're going to discuss is our masterclass feedback session for Music 670. When we get back, your next class session most likely will be your masterclass feedback session. And this is all based on your apprenticeship experiences during the semester. So with your first session, we're going to look at what is effective teaching. So what does effective mean? What does it look like? What does it sound like? How are the students being engaged? What are the students learning? So as you're watching your videos, you're looking at what was an effective moment and how did you know that it was effective? What were the indicators? And be able to share that with the class. And as you show us the video, be prepared to be able to point those items out that indicated to you that this was an effective session. We want to hear you talk about the classroom, that environment that you've created. And so tell us what was effective and how it was effective and how you planned for it. So just give us some context. So what does make teaching effective? Appropriate pacing, verbal and nonverbal communication. How did you manage the classroom? How did you ask specific questions? And how did you frame those questions to elicit the responses to lead towards student learning? Those are the kinds of discussions that we want to see. We want to see what cooperative learning strategies have you used? What did it take to prepare a lesson or even a segment, even a warm-up? What did it take to prepare that to make sure that transfer was going to happen? How were you going to ensure that students were creating their own knowledge? How'd you make the content relevant for them? In both cases, elementary and secondary, how are you providing a musical context? How are you reinforcing oral skills? Are you providing specific feedback? Are you providing pedagogical feedback so that the students can learn how to teach themselves when you aren't around? And then how are you using assessment to guide learning? All of this mixes together to create an effective teaching episode. So now let's get into what are the requirements for the feedback session. Number one, you want to use some sort of presentation software. This can be PowerPoint, Keynote, Prezi, presentations on Google. Anything like that is going to work, but you want to be able to ensure that you have multimedia, that you can import your video into it so that you can go seamlessly into the video. And we want you to present a 1 to 2 minute segment from your teaching video. So you'll have to take a clip of the video and then import it into your presentation. The first time, so your first feedback session, we want you to focus on an effective teaching strategy, something that worked really well, and really give us the context and share that with us. Okay? The second time, we're going to want you to find a 1 to 2 minute clip of something that happened that was ineffective, and then reflect upon how you're going to change that, or how you're going to adjust instruction to make sure that it doesn't happen again. In this, you're going to include context, description of the learners, how you planned for the lesson, what was your preparation like, and then what are things that went well, what are things you want to continue to adjust, and what are some things that you plan to change for the next time that you teach in the classroom. So the context. Provide this information for us. What is the class? What is the grade level? Where are they at in the sequence? What does the class look like? You know, think about demographics. Think about the time of day. Think about where they are. You know, are they 2 weeks out from testing? Are they just getting back from lunch? Are they getting ready to go to lunch? All of these different factors are going to impact how you teach your class and how you create the environment. So we want to be able to have a full context of the class that you're getting to work with. Tell us about the learners, age of the students, number of students, number of special population learners, and then basic characteristics of the students that you're teaching. Just let us know. If we were to walk in, we want to have enough information that we feel prepared to be able to make informed decisions about what we're seeing. Then include some information about the lesson. What was your objective? What were instructional strategies you were planning on using? What was your assessment, and how was it measuring that intended objective? And how will you know when students have met that objective? So we want to be able to see the entire lesson at a glance in this section. So explain that to us, let us know what that is. Now, some of you, it might just be a warm-up. And I have this discussion with student teachers all the time, that even in warm-ups, you have to have clear objectives. There has to be a purpose to that warm-up, otherwise the students will check out mentally. So think about what is the objective, and for warm-ups, sometimes it's how are you going to transition into a piece that they're working on, and how are you going to connect that? And so that's going to be what you would focus on. Some of you are going to do full 30-minute lessons. And in that, what is your objective? Where do you want those students to be at the end of those 30 minutes? And so share with us the process and the fleshed out lesson plan. So here's an example, context, second grade general music class, Smithfield Elementary School. The class takes place right after lunch, and they bring their lunch boxes with them. The learners are 7 to 8 years old, 24 students in a class, 2 identified children with special needs. One with Tourette syndrome, and the other's been identified as having an autism spectrum disorder. Another thing that you would also want is, my wife has kindergarten, and she has 45 minutes at the end of the day, and they don't go back to their classrooms. So they bring all of their backpacks, and they're dog tired. So how are you going to teach a kindergarten class at the end of the day with their backpacks? So it becomes logistics, and it becomes informing factors of how you design your lessons, and how you shape the arc of those lessons. So provide us with the context. Learning objectives. The students will sing Bow Wow Wow with only 1 or 2 rhythmic or pitch errors and without accompaniment. 90% of the students will sing an entire song in their head voice while demonstrating good posture and vocal production. Instructional strategies, vocal warm-ups, rote teaching, questioning techniques, think, pair, share. Assessment, listening and observing, and listening to students sing Bow Wow Wow, and noting places on a score where mistakes occur. At this point in the presentation, you would now show your clip. And here you're encouraged to pause the clip in order to highlight moments when teaching is being effective, and then discuss. And if you don't have the ability to pause, then be able to point that out and talk over the recording as it's going, but almost act as if you're a meteorologist at the green screen, pointing out the weather. Here's what's coming, here's why it's happening. I just want to bring your attention to this. Look here. And so really almost a think aloud with your video. Following the video, present a reflection. What did you learn from this experience? Is there anything you might consider changing if you were to do this lesson again? And then add some additional comments. Give us some commentary. And be thinking about this as you're the teacher and you're providing this to a group of future teachers. What are you going to share with them? If you were working with our freshmen, if you're working with our sophomore music ed students, what would you share with them about being in the classroom? And adjustments that you could make based on what they got to watch during your video. So think about this as providing more context and instruction for your peers and your colleagues. Thank you for your attention, and we will see you all soon. And best of luck, and let us know if you have any questions on preparing your masterclass feedback.